Well, here we are at Caverns State Park, just outside of Marianna, and we're going to go through the caverns, check out the museum. Come on along. There's more to do here than just take the caverns tour. There's also picnicking, hiking, camping, swimming, canoeing. Here's our old friend, the CCC worker, 1933 to 1942. Helped create this park. Back in the 1500s, this is where an Indian village once stood.
Evidence shows that there were farmers and hunters from the pottery and spear points that were found.
Here's the visitor center. This is a rare Florida torreya tree. It was devastated by a disease called blight in the 50s, but they have begun a regrowth.
My name's Amanda. This is going to take about 40 minutes or more to an hour to do the tour. So make sure you stay with the guide so you don't get left behind, because I will be turning the lights out behind us as we go. So there you go. So let's go on in. Use this hand railing if you need.
You want to walk? Definitely warmer in here than outside.
While you gather your, I'll be right back. Look at the walls and the ceilings. There is seashells and fossils everywhere. Take a look at that. Geologists say that this has been shifting, changing, and forming in between 37 to 40 million years. You have a warm, shallow ocean that used to cover the state of Florida, compacting those marine life, seashells and all, to the bottom to make this limestone rock that is around us now. What you're standing in used to be an underground river, an aquifer, which is what carved its way through here to make these big, large, open rooms that link together. Okay? Looks like a biscuit. Let's see what I'll point out to you. But every 100 years, a cubic inch, that means the whole circumference, top to bottom, everything. This right here, this is a line where there was a fracture, and I'll tell you more about that in another room, because it's called the fracture room. So that means these rooms have certain names to them because of the formations that are in there. Areas that look like somebody threw glitter on the wall is the calcium. So that's why you have these beautiful colors. Again, most of the dark areas like this is not from where people have been touching. That's just from no constant growth of the water, the rainwater. And and to the right?
Yep.
Crayfish, crawfish. Ground, which is 50 feet. So that's as low as the caverns gets here, is 50 feet. That means throughout Florida there's many aquifers, so if that aquifer fills up below from so much rain, it has nowhere to go but up here in the Tour Cave. And it floods quite wildly.
He's blind.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. If they're white like this, then they're from the aquifer, which means they're albino and they can't see. Then the others that are still colored, they come from the river. Now that we're all in the room, if you'll look behind you, I'm going to turn the lights out and you'll see how dark it gets back there. Oh, very dark.
There's the bacon.
Okay, with this being the wedding room though, this formation here in front, which is considered a flow stone, is the wedding cake. Look at the area behind it. It looks like a church pipe organ. Of course, couples come down here to get married because of the wedding cake. The couples stand on this small platform. The priest or preacher stands here to perform their marriage. And then we only bring as many as 25 people. These are several hundreds of years old already. These are called soda straws. Looks just like a soda straw you would sip your McDonald's drink through. Okay, very similar. The water seeps through the center like a soda straw, but when those deposits clog the tip, that means the water's going to eventually flow on the outside instead, and that's what helps it grow longer and thicker to become the other formation over here to your right, which is called a stalactite. Okay, so So therefore, that water dripping down to the bottom surface, every little drop is what helps it gradually build upward, and it's called a stalagmite. So to tell the difference in between these two formations is by saying stalactites hold tight to the ceiling, and then the stalagmites might make you stumble over them. Okay, since they're on the bottom. As long as these are the other cave openings along the way, and a tunnel cave you can walk through at the end, which is on the
Pretty.
Yeah.
If you don't want to walk a nature trail,
We're on the Magnolia Trail. Very rocky. Beautiful day for a hike. Make sure you've worn your sturdy shoes. On this tree, the Magnolia Trail. On this trail, the Magnolia Trail, we also see American beech, white oak, white ash, and basswood. Cool rock. Whole trees toppled over. This is the national champion Florida elm. It's the largest elm that's been measured in Florida. And in 1995, it was 102 feet tall and 120 inches in circumference. It's now 2009, so it's even bigger. These are pretty cool. Mariana was a real tree. We've traveled about 10 miles to Greenwood. We're going to look at some of the historic homes here in Greenwood. And this is called Great Oaks. Isn't it beautiful?
Developed mansion built in 1860.
Well, I can just see myself sitting on the veranda. And here are some of the great oaks for which it's named. This is the Greenwood Baptist Church, established in 1845. This is the Irwin House. It was built in the 1830s and is possibly the oldest home in Jackson County. In the 1860s, it became the home of Colonel John Irwin, who served in the Confederacy, and today it's owned by Colonel Irwin's granddaughter. They kept it in the family.
Yes, they did.
This is the well on the property, and it served as the town's source of water for many years. This is Pinder's store. This was built in 1869. It was bought by the Pinder family in 1889. It's been operated by them ever since. For an unusual town name, 2 Egg has to be first prize. We're told that this sign is one of the most stolen street signs in the United States.